Hi, I'm Glenn, and once again you've stumbled upon Brainstorm Rodeo. As fall comes and we're into October, we're looking into maybe Halloween, the macabre, and the horror and terror. So what we're going to do today is we're working on a new assemblage box in Baltimore, so we're going to tie in Edgar Allan Poe and some of his writings. So behind these gates lay the grave of Edgar Allan Poe. He's been claimed by many cities on the East Coast, but since he's buried here, we'll just claim that he's going to be in Baltimore longer than anywhere else. So let's go inside, we'll take a look at his grave, and then we'll get started on the assemblage box.
What I started with was this Poems for Enjoyment. It's a book I got for the book thing downtown. It looks like it was has a copyright date of 1931. So I started using that, and again, we're talking about Edgar Allan Poe, and it just happens to have a copy of The Raven inside of it. So we're going to use this book to get the poem out of, and we have a couple other things that we're going to work with. I just have a piece of backing board for my box, and I'll tell you why I need a separate backing board. I got a shadow box from Michael's. I really don't like using these, pre-canned ones, but I have some material in here which I'll show you that I just couldn't fit in most of the boxes I have. And the problem child for these are these shot glasses. I have 3 shot glasses that I'll be using. I can't tell you how many times I've dropped them, so let's see if we can get done without breaking everything. I have some trim board. This piece here I already painted. I am using some wood I got just from the craft store. I have a piece of canvas I'm going to be using, and some dowel rod, which I'll be using in cutting. I'm going to put a nice handle on top of the box. This is a nice one I found at an estate sale. Finally, I've got a bunch of feathers that I'm going to be using because, again, we're doing the raving. And I have one more. I have a medallion that I'm going to put right in the center of this canvas, which is in another room, I guess. So we'll see it later when I start putting everything together. And finally, I have some things to paint. So I'm going to use a spray paint, some black flat spray paint. And for my background, I usually like to use stuff out of books like we just saw. But I actually found a piece of paper at the craft store that I liked for the background. So we're going to use that, and we'll see how it works. Okay, let's get started. So looking at these, it's kind of hard to decide between the vintage photo and the walleye stain, but the vintage photo to me has just a little too much, maybe, I don't know, red in it. So I'm going to practice a little bit with the distressed ink, and then I'll see how it goes on the canvas. Again, I got this book from the book thing downtown in Baltimore. I think we're on page 29. Here we go. We're going to carefully cut this out.
So once I put the pictures around these dowel rods, I glued them in, which took a lot of time to get them perfectly centered and squared and spaced out just right. What I'm going to do now is put these shot glasses on top, trying the best I can not to get a smudge on them. So you can see here I piled up a bunch of feathers in the bottom of this container. And the very top where we put the shot glasses, they are looking very good the way they capture the light. The skull, the raven, and of course the heart. All we need to do now is put the backing on, and I think we'll be all done. Here comes the frame. I don't want to pinch any feathers in the side.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered, weak and weary, over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door. And his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor. And my soul, from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor, shall be lifted nevermore. Quoth the raven, nevermore.